Hello, I'm Ariel from Revival Acres Homeschool at revivalacres.com, and today we are talking about all things preschool. So this is the schedule I will be using for my son's basket. We have a daily task. We will do this every single day. And within that, the first day, I will only do the daily task because I will be introducing a new book. So that will take up a lot of our time. After the first day, we will do the daily tasks, and then we will do one book from loop 1 and one book from loop 2. So essentially, tasks 1 and 1, and then we'll switch it the next day, do the next book in the loop, then the next book in the loop. So my main text or curriculum I'm using is before 5 in a row. This is a very well done curriculum for young children, and then there's also 5 in a row for ages 5 and up, I think to 9 years old. And I really love this because it uses rich classic literature as the basis of the program. And for instance, my current weeks that we are doing is Blueberries for Sal. So I got the book from the library, and what it does is gives you a summary, and then it breaks it up into subjects. Now sometimes the subjects are different because of whatever the book has in it, but there is a rich amount of subjects, and they go quite in depth. So for instance, the first day, like I said, I would just introduce the book. We would read the book together. So here's Blueberries for Sal. It's a great book if you haven't read it. It's wonderful, beautiful artwork, and my son loved it very much. So what I do is I'd introduce the book on the first day, we talk about it, and then I also did the Bible story. I just briefly told the story of Ruth to him to explain that, and then we went on to our counting for the day and our ABCs. That was the first day. But like I said, depending on the book, I'm picking a new book every 2 weeks. And depending on the book, there are various activities. Some I can't go quite as in depth with him because of his age, but you will not run out of things to do, that is for sure. So this is the backbone to what I'm doing with him. It's a great resource. I also have this book, I just had it. So if there happens to be a book we are reading from here, there are 45, I think, different books in here. If one is in here, I might pull out some activities from there. I'm not sure. I just had it. And then with that, we will be doing our ABC songs. I also picked this from Amazon. It will be linked. And I really like this book because it's very simple, but it also has flaps. What little child does not love flaps? And also it is textile because you can trace the capital letter. He is not ready for tracing with a pen or a pencil, but he can definitely do this with his finger. And so it just helps with those fine motor skills. And he really enjoys this book as we go through the ABCs. For counting, you can do various things, but I already had this book and it's count to 100. Now we won't count to 100, probably to 20. So I'll have him go in, pick his favorite page, which will probably be this page. And I'll say, let's count to 10. And we'll count again 10 together. I could also talk about colors, we could talk about shapes, all kinds of different things. So we'll just maybe change up the page every day. We'll probably get to 20 maybe this year, but if not, that's okay, definitely to 10. All kinds of different really fun pictures in there. So that is from my daily tasks. That is something I'd like to do every day. Depending upon if we're reading the book again, it might take me 10 minutes. It might take me a little longer, but really should be pretty brief. Now in loop 1, I actually have 3 books because one came in the mail I wasn't expecting. But so I will choose one of the 3 books each day. And for my first book, I have Big Thoughts for Little Thinkers. This is put out by Master Books, and it's a series, I believe, of 4 books. And I just chose scripture for the first one. And it walks you through some just questions about scripture, and there's usually a main character, and there's always scripture references at the bottom of each page that you can pull out as well if you want. And we'll just work through this book slowly, read whatever his attention will allow, 1 to 2 pages and slowly work through, and then we'll move on to the next book in the series. This is put up on Master Books. I'll make sure to link it. The next book I was saying that I didn't have on my list, but it got in the mail. I also have the poster that goes along with it. It's called We Believe, and it's an alphabet primer. And it just talks about different principles of our faith that we believe by going through the ABCs. And there are scripture references at the bottom of each one. I love the artwork. It's very well done. Next up in my first loop is my ABC Bible Verses by Susan Hunt. Anything by Susan Hunt is fantastic. She writes books for women, also for children. I highly recommend this book. All my kids love it. So what it does, it goes through the alphabet, giving a corresponding verse and then a little description of the verse. And then it follows a family with 2 children, Missy and Bill, and it gives real life application stories. So they have to make decisions on how they treat others, how they can turn away from doing evil things. So it's really applicable to children, and all my children love this book. So I'll plan on reading whatever letter we're on that week. So that is in my first loop. Now, like I said, I picked just one a day in there, and then now we are in my second loop. Basically, my second loop is mostly activities, except for the nursery rhyme book. I really wanted to fit in nursery rhymes because rhyming is very important for phonemic awareness. It allows children to build a context for words before they have to spell them, and it's very important. So you should always be doing rhyming with your young children. So we'll just go through this book poem by poem. We're also doing poetry in our morning basket, but who doesn't love Winnie the Pooh? I chose this because I had it, not because it's my favorite or anything. We love Winnie the Pooh, and I had it, and I think he'll really love just the classic poems in here. But you can pick any poetry book that you have to work through poems. The next one in my loop that I have is this fun activity book or dry erase book from Master Books. And it's just dinosaurs, and he loves it. It has his own little handle. It's like his own little workbook. And I just Velcroed a marker onto it. And he can't trace yet. He's just not there yet, which is fine, but he loves to write into it, and we look at the letters, and it's just really fun for him to have something special. As you can see, he just likes to write in it. So again, this is from Master Books. And then a couple of the activities he can choose from. I have some various vehicles. He loves anything with wheels right now. So these are racing cars, and we can just work on his fine motor with these. They have all kinds of different things in here. I think I got these at Target like a few years ago, and I've just kept them, and they're perfect because now he can use those. And then one of the things in Blueberries for Sal that week, one of the things for Blueberries for Sal is zoology. Now it sounds way more complicated than it is. It's just talking about animals. And I had these animal cards, so you can use any that you want. And we look through them, we identify the animals. He had to find the bear. You could do matching, you could do classification, so many different things. Another activity he can choose to do are the Quiznera Rods, and this is an alphabet book. So I'll just pick the letter that he's on. I'm thinking about binding this book and making it like a workbook so that he can color in and do the rods in. So what you do is you pick a letter, and then I'll just have him use the little blocks, the little rods, to make the letter. Now he can't do all of this, so we won't focus on the words. We'll focus on just simple fine motor skills, counting, colors, shapes, things like that. So we'll just go through this book slowly and continue on building. And I think he'll really enjoy this, and it'll be really great for fine motor, also for counting and colors. This was great for Blueberries for Sal. It is just palms. Now you could buy these. I had my children make them because we had felting. And so they just felted them into palms. So these are blueberries for Blueberry for Sal. You could dump them out. You could use things like these tweezers. And what he's done, he really enjoyed it, was picking them up, putting them in 1, 2, and counting them all. You could also do, now I took 2 away. How many are left? Basic subtraction. You could also do, I added 2 back. How many do we have now? You could use any type of manipulative small or big, and work on fine motor and also gross motor, as well as various math skills. So this is what I have for him in his basket.